today's edition of The Mom Game, once again brought to you by our friends at Cowden Cosmetic Dentistry. As Texas continues to open back up, don't forget about Dr. Anna Cowden and her sweet, sweet staff. They can handle all of your dental needs right now, whatever that may be. They can even handle those cosmetic dental needs now that you're getting back out into the world. Maybe you're realizing you need some whitening or something like that. Well, they can hook you up whatever it is that you're needing. They can give you the exams, the cleanings that you need. Book an appointment now for a limited time. New patients will receive a free Sonic toothbrush. That's a pretty sweet deal. No matter what procedure you need, your comfort, safety, the safety of the staff will be their primary concern. I've been in there a couple of times and felt completely safe the whole time that I was there. They're taking all of the precautions for you and for their staff there at Cowden Cosmetic Dentistry. Go ahead and give them a call, 972-380-6223, or you can shoot them an email over at info@cowdencosmeticdentistry.com. And if you follow the Mom Game on all of our social channels, we usually tag them on our things as well, so you can find them on Instagram. They have some really good notes for you about your teeth, what's going on with them, because we all need good, clean teeth. Hello and welcome into this 22nd edition of the Mom Game. As Emily and I have talked a lot about over the last few weeks, the world has been changing like crazy. And when I say the world is changing, that means for kids, for families, for schools, everything. So we are going to bring a new sponsor onto the show today, and she is here with us. Today we have Jessica Parnell, who's the CEO of Bridgeway Academy. And Jessica, you're going to talk to us a little bit about what your company does, which is homeschooling, which is a very hot topic right now for all moms, because I know people are making last minute adjustments to their world, trying to figure out how they're going to get their kids the schooling that they need, with the schools perhaps being shut down for quite a long time. So we're going to talk about all of that. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to the Mom Game.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, so first of all, can you just tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Sure. We are Bridgeway Academy, and we have been around since 1989, and we have always been all about home education. So as these moms are wrestling with this decision to homeschool, dads are trying to decide, are they taking it on? We've been there both as a company and as homeschoolers ourselves, and would love to be able to share some of those resources with families as they wrestle with those decisions.
And so what have you seen recently, just in the uptick of interest of people that are wanting to homeschool their kids? What has that been like for you, kind of riding this new wave?
Well, I will say, I think some of the concerns are the same. Moms tend to say, can I do this? What do I do? Is it going to hurt my children? All kinds of questions that kind of cause a little bit of stress and angst as they try to make that decision. Those are the same stressors that most new homeschoolers feel. But I think the big challenge today is that many of our families that are reaching out to us are coming out of a spring that did not go well. They don't want to repeat that, and they are not sure, will homeschooling really be a better choice? Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest concern, I think, for those families.
Yeah, and I know something that Emily and I have talked about on the show a lot is having the time, like even for a working parent, to try and do homeschooling. What do you see as far as, is it the actual moms that are doing it, or are some families bringing somebody in to do the homeschooling? How does that usually work?
Well, that's a great question, because we've seen the trend shift. So back in the 89, early 90s, it was all moms pretty much doing it. Very few dads jumping in here and there, but if they were supplementing. We've seen a shift where sometimes it's the dad or even more grandparents that are jumping in and taking care of the home education. But this COVID change, we're seeing a significant shift in families coming together to create what either is called a micro school or a pandemic pod. And they're joining together 3 or 4 families and kind of either sharing their responsibilities or bringing in a teacher to manage it. So it's a very unique shift. And I think in the end, a lot of these families will continue to homeschool this way because they realize the freedom, the flexibility, and how well their kids start to shine when they have that more individualized attention.
Yeah, and how does it work as far as the schedule? as far as the schedule of a homeschooling day? Is it flexible? Do you guys try to have some sort of structure like they would in a school, or how does that work if that's something that maybe somebody's concerned about?
Yeah, well, what's nice about working with a company like Bridgeway Academy, where everything we do is home education, is we've got a lot of flexible options for families, for those who need everything comes with a nice set schedule. So it tells them exactly what to do every day, but it's also built in such a way that it's not a 180-day school year. So you've got about 30 days to play with, for whether it's just a day off, a vacation day, a field trip day, whatever. If you're following that schedule rigidly, there's time for you to actually escape and do something different. And that's one of the benefits of homeschooling for sure. And then Bridgeway also offers a fully teacher-supported option. So those who really would like to just kind of turn it over to somebody else, we have a blended live program for grades 3 to 5, where they meet twice a week with a live teacher online and kids from all across the country and around the world. And they're allowing that teacher to step in and kind of help guide on those 2 days. And then the parents just manage the homework throughout the week. And then we also have that same live option for middle school and high school. They meet fewer times, once a week, and their work is designed to be very independent study.
So what I'm hearing is flexibility all across the board, whether it's a mom or dad or somebody being brought in, or if you need a teacher from the school, and then you can kind of work around whatever schedule works best for the family. Would you say that's pretty much the flexible is the main sell?
Exactly. And I think that's what people love about Bridgeway Academy. And one thing for individuals looking at homeschooling, whether they want to do it independently or through a school like ours, you really don't need 6 hours a day to school. We recommend 1 to 2 hours a day for your early elementary years, 2 to 3 for middle school, and 3 to 4 for high school. And you're done. So there's a lot of opportunities for students to pursue other interests and expertise.
And lastly, just what advice would you give somebody that's thinking about homeschooling, maybe on the fence, maybe all of a sudden faced with this decision they didn't think they'd be faced with at this point early on as the school year is getting going? What kind of advice would you give a mom that's just weighing these options right now?
Yeah, I would say do some research. You want to find a school or an option, a partner that fits you. Know that you can do it. We've all been there. Those first years of that decision-making process it causes some anxiety, but you can do it. You've been your child's first teacher. You'll continue to be their teacher. And it's when you own it and can drive it, it's much different than what you experienced this spring. And then 2 other resources. 1, get to know your state's laws. You want to make certain that you're following those. And then 2, jump on bridgewayacademy.com. We have a weekly open house. If you need to know information about homeschooling in general, join us live for a webinar once a week. Homepage, scroll down, a place to sign up there. And we're happy to walk through, answer questions you may have. We're here as a resource, whether you use us or not.
And you're located in Pennsylvania, but people everywhere can do this. Is that correct?
Exactly. There's students all across the country and around the world.
Okay, and just one more time, the best place to find you.
Best place is bridgewayacademy.com. And we have people standing by to answer questions and happy to help in any way we can. Awesome.
I'm sure that's music to so many families' ears right now. Just the more options, the better, as we all try and navigate through this situation. So Jessica, thank you so much for joining us, and we're happy to have you on board with the Mom Game.
You're welcome, and have fun. It sounds like a wonderful show. We're definitely listening in.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining us, Jessica. And now I get to bring in a very good friend, Celena. Welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have to tell you, this is my very first podcast ever.
Oh, okay. So what do you think it's going to be like?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but you're my friend, so it's just us talking. So it can't be that bad.
No, it's not going to be bad at all. No. And this is a special podcast because it's also on camera. So it's like a podcast / vlogcast or whatever you want to call it.
Well, anybody who knows me knows I love to talk. So
I know.
In my element.
I knew that this would go very well for that reason. Yeah. As we talked about on the show last week, Emily is in Florida and she's just enjoying herself after some craziness of COVID and getting the baseball season all geared up and all of that. So she will rejoin us next week from Florida. But we were so excited to have the opportunity to bring in our first guest host. And Celena Rae is somebody that Emily and I both know very well.
Yes.
We've known you for a really long time. You and I obviously covered the Stars together and worked at Stars games together.
Shared a dressing room.
We shared a dressing room. You helped me with my hair and my makeup, and I'd say, Celena, I forgot this or I forgot that. Which now, like, can we still share makeup?
I don't
ever
think
again.
No, probably not. But
So
I will
many
have
issues.
That was such a great time because for like maybe 10 years or maybe 8, 9 with the Stars, I was by myself in my dressing room, all by myself. And finally, I'm like, come on over. You started like just bringing your person, right? Just to drop it off.
How it started.
I think it was just to drop off your purse or something, to leave something or something. And I'm like, no, come on.
You were so
join.
kind. Yeah, because I just floated all around.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know you, give us an introduction. You've done a whole lot in your career, but I know the Stars thing's probably the main one. So catch everybody up.
Yes. So my name is Celena Rae, and I'm the national anthem singer and in-game host for the Dallas Stars. So so I sing the national anthem every game, and I do all the in-game fun stuff, fluff fun, having fun with all of our fans.
Yeah, the fan interaction.
I'm the female face of the Dallas Stars, if you will. So that's a lot of fun. So I've been with the team for 15 seasons. But before that, I was on American Idol, season 4 with Carrie Underwood. I did not stand a chance of winning.
Whatever.
No, we never. None of us did. But I want to talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about American Idol. But it was really great because of American Idol. I started singing professionally when I was 19. I started off as a singer. So doing what I do now, I mean, the national anthem and stuff, that's singing, but American Idol really just opened up all of these doors. And now I'm like, wow, here I am in this world that I never thought in a million years that I would be in. So
So
in the sports world.
The sports world of all things.
So crazy.
And you're killing it. And you've been there for so long. You're like an icon within the Stars organization, which is awesome.
Does that make me old?
No, it makes you awesome. It makes you awesome. Icon doesn't mean old necessarily, although you could argue that most icons are old. But anywho,
it's okay.
And you do some like acting and stuff on the side too?
I am an actor. I have 2 agencies. I have an agency here in Dallas, and I also have an agency in LA. So that's another thing.
Commercials, movies, what else?
TV, film, commercials, industrials, spokesperson stuff. I do everything. Again, it's something I never thought in a million years I would ever do.
Yeah.
I always wanted to sing. I wanted to win Grammys for crying out loud.
You
know what I mean?
have the best voice.
Oh, you're so sweet.
We're going to talk all about that. And since this is the mom game, you are a mom.
I am a mom.
Of 3 beautiful girls. Tell us about your family a little bit.
Yes. I have 3 daughters. My oldest is 12, Sophia, and then Annabella is 10, and then Hot Mess JoJo is 5. She's almost 6.
Wait, you have Hot Mess JoJo and Emily has Hot Mess Hattie.
Yes.
Okay.
And there is a reason that they're hot messes.
Right.
I know Hattie. And
they're 2 of a kind.
JoJo is 100% the exact same. Hot mess is the only way to describe this child. So, and then my husband is a director producer for Fox Sports, and so it's just kind of in this family. And but that's our world. It's just sports and mommyhood and keeping everybody alive in this crazy world that we live in.
Yeah, and we have a lot in common because of being a mom, working in sports, and then the husbands that also work in sports. So it's double whammy.
That are gone 90% of the time.
90% of the time. And then you work the same schedules essentially. Like it's Kelly and I were both working Stars games together for so long, and you guys have done it forever. And I always just envied how you pulled that off for so long and did it like a champ. Right. How did that all work?
Well, you know
how does it work?
When we've been together 15 years, my husband and I, and so it was just, it's all we ever knew. You know, it wasn't something that we came into. And a lot of times it's, I people say to me all the time, how in the world do you guys do it? How do you live this life? I mean, we don't know any different. It's the only thing that he's been in this industry forever. But then when we just had kids, it just, again, I was with the Dallas. That's how we met. We met through the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, same.
So right. So this is our world, and we just have this motto as we kept having kids and more kids, and like, oh crap, I'm pregnant again. Okay,
I remember that.
We just have this motto in our house: we can make it work. Yeah, whatever we need to do to make it work, and so we just have this we can do attitude. We try not to get bogged down on the details of things. We just take it one day at a time. The good thing about our schedule is the sense that the hockey, well, up until now, but you've always had a hockey schedule or our baseball schedule. He was in Milwaukee for 3 years when he started in Major League Baseball. So he was living in Milwaukee for 3 years.
That was random.
Yeah.
But good. It was really good for his career.
Insane. But yeah, I mean, we just have to live our lives, and we just have to do what we have to do. It's our livelihood. This is what we do. We love what we do. And we kind of have to, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit, but I've had to make some alterations and, kind of, you have to prioritize what's important in your world. But at the end of the day, he's the moneymaker, know, and then everybody's their identity is important, with what you do professionally. And we just make it work.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I definitely want to talk about is your identity and trying to keep your identity while guiding a family and growing a family. And I want to get to that, but I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit more about your singing, about your time on American Idol, and I might have you coach me a little bit. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with just your singing aspirations. Where did it start? And then how'd you find yourself on American Idol? And what was that like?
Right.
Because I am a big fan of the show. Not so much anymore, but when it first started, when you were on it, oh my God.
Right. I mean, it was on season 4. So it was at the height of the show.
Yes.
So I break my life into 2 parts, like before Idol and then after Idol. Because before Idol, I started touring with a band when I was 19 years old. And I sang when I was really, really little. And when I was in kindergarten, I did an Etta James solo in the school program. And the choir teacher told my mom, she was like, this kid is really, really good. But my mom, she was a young mom. We grew up together and she didn't know. She was like, I don't know.
Like, what do I do with this information?
I don't know. I'm just trying to, keep food on the table and, and work. And, she was a single mom. So I just lived my life and I did my things. And then when I was in high school, I would sing for my friends and they're like, oh my gosh, you're like kind of talented.
So you would just like create a little audience and be like, hey guys, I'm going to sing.
I was painfully shy in high school. Painfully shy.
Hard to believe.
I never did choir. People are like, you must have sang in high school. Never. So when I graduated high school, that's when I kind of came into my own and started like, oh, okay. So I started singing with a band and then I started touring with them. And then that turned into, I was on it. Okay. So at that point, it's funny because it's a very interesting path that I've gone on. So Star Search, you remember Star Search?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a great show. Well, that went off the air. And then there was this new show that came about and it was right at the height of reality. I mean, right at the beginning of reality. It was one of the very first reality shows that came out. It was called Your Big Break. And you had to look and sound like a particular artist.
Oh.
It was only on for 2 seasons.
Okay.
Kid from Kid and Play,
Yeah.
He had the hair. He was our host. Yeah, he was our host for the very first season.
Okay.
And I auditioned for the show, crazy. And it was a Dick Clark show. I got cast on the show to do the show. I ended up winning.
Oh my gosh.
And I was Martina McBride.
Oh.
Yes, they cut my hair and everything.
So you have to actually look like this person. It's not about finding your own identity
you have to
as a
sound
star.
like,
You're like, how well can you copy somebody else?
Exactly. And she was by far one of my all-time favorite vocalists of all time.
Yeah.
So I ended up winning that show.
Wow.
And I got a record deal.
What? I did not know this about you.
Okay. It's crazy. So I got a record deal. I lost that record deal because the industry is crazy. And then I was signed at the end of that one. I was signed with another record label. And that one was really, really good. So this is my second record label. And I'm in it. Like I'm with fighting for songs with Faith Hill, with Martina McBride. It was great. It was insane.
And how old were you at this point?
24.
Okay.
And I was too old, by the way. They told me I was too old. And I remember sitting and this is how bad this industry is. And I was like, I'm not sure about that. They wanted me to get a nose job. They wanted me to get all this plastic surgery. It was insane. I was like, I'm not sure if that's for me. So I didn't really want to do that. But anyway, other reasons I lost that record deal because there's a lot of political stuff. And, I don't think I was ready at that time. I come home, tail between my legs, crying. I was devastated. I did not listen to music or sing for a year.
Oh, no.
It was awful because I lost my dream. I felt like it was gone.
Right.
American Idol comes. Well, it's going on. I had never watched the show. That 4th season, they upped the age limit to 29. You could be 29.
What was it before that?
It was 25.
Jeez.
So I was too old by that time.
That's insane. That's
so
they young.
raised. Yeah. So I'm working. I'm doing my thing, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna, work and have babies and be normal.
Yeah.
And then the itch to sing and perform started coming back. When you're a performer and you do what you do, it's like it's in you, right?
Oh, for
it
sure.
doesn't go anywhere.
No.
So, and it's always gonna rear its ugly head. It's coming back. And so, I was at a lunch with a client, and I got a phone call. I'm like, it was from a lady I worked with, Ania. You better be listening, Ania, because this is all your fault. She calls me and she's like, the very first thing out of her mouth is, you're auditioning for American Idol. And I go, what? What are you talking about? I can't audition. First of all, I'm too old. And second of all, no. She goes, yes, you are. They just raised the age limit. She sent me the thing. She told me the thing. She's like, you're going to go. So I flew, because they were not auditioning in Dallas. I flew to Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
And this is back in the day where you had to camp out outside.
Yes. And
for hours, for days. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So did you go by yourself?
My uncle from New York, from California, he flew out there with me, and it was insane. And now here we are. And I can't believe that was like the turning point in my life.
Okay.
And then,
so you were part of the big crowd.
Yeah.
And then you auditioned. You wowed them at the first audition, I'm guessing. And I bet you were so nervous.
I was. And it started pouring down rain. It was at Cleveland Brown Stadium. It's an open stadium. It's pouring down rain. I look like a drowned rat. And I'm thinking to myself, I've camped out. I've gone through all this trouble. I better at least make it through this first round, because it was the big cattle call. It was like 40,000 people were in the stadium and they were only taking what they wanted to go into the producer round, which is the second round of the show. So I got through. I think I did good. I sang At Last, and I can't remember something else that I sang.
Oh, that's such a pretty song.
I know. And then the following week I had to fly home, and then the following week I had to fly back to Cleveland, Ohio for the producers.
Oh my gosh.
And I sang At Last again, and Nigel Lithgow, who's the producer of the show, said, I will put you through to Simon, Randy, Paula, and Simon if you promise never ever to sing that song again.
Oh, really?
Go, okay. And then,
Why? What do you have against that song?
I think he hated that song. I think everybody
maybe a lot of people sang it. Yeah. And he wanted you to stand out or that kind of thing. Okay, so then you cruise on through.
Yeah, well, I did. And then I went to Paula, Randy, and Simon, and LL Cool J was our guest judge. I was like, woo,
nice.
I love me some LL Cool J. So he was there, and I got all 4 yeses. And then it was just this whirlwind I was 29 years old. I didn't know.
Oh my gosh. I bet it was so much fun. All of a sudden you're kind of like you haven't won, but you're on this huge show. And so all of a sudden you're kind of like a star.
Well, it was weird because when I left for the show, you have to pack for like 3 or 4 months, because when you leave to actually go to the show, you don't know when you're coming home.
Right.
Because you don't know when you're getting voted off. So you have to pack for 3 months. And I left in January.
It's like the hockey players right now in the bubble.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
they're like, I'm here for a few weeks or 2 months.
I have no idea. And so when I left, I was just a girl that worked at Prime Lending, and I was just marketing director for a company,
Yeah.
And then when I came back, it was, this is a new me, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. And then tell us how it kind of all ended. I know that
I was awful.
You got to what? The top 10 though, right?
Top 12, top 10 girls. I can't remember.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
But you were there
right
for
before
a long time.
I got cut the week before you were the group, the top 10 went on the tour.
Okay.
And I was cut right before then.
Okay.
But it was without a doubt the most stressful thing I've ever been through. You realize the magnitude of the show.
Yeah.
And then you've got Carrie Underwood, who is there, and we all know that she's the front runner.
You knew the whole time. Everybody knew. Just because her voice was so amazing, or were there like rumblings that everyone loved her? And
we all knew. I mean, at the end of the day, I always tell people who want to try out for shows like this, it's like you have to understand that this is a television show first and foremost.
Yeah.
This is not about and it's actually worked well for me in my industry now, moving into TV film, it's not always about talent. Sometimes it's just about what they're looking for. And at that point, they had never had a country artist win. I mean, Kelly Clarkson was great, and then they had Ruben Studdard and Fantasia. And so they had all those genres covered, right, of music. It made sense that Carrie Underwood was going to be a star.
Because they're growing a brand with the show.
Right. And it's fair. I get it, you know. So we were all just trying to get as much airtime as possible, right? So that we could have some sort of a career moving forward.
Did you get to know her at all?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of all did. Yeah, there's actually a picture that I have, and if it's her, they put us, you know, the part where they put you in rooms, and you don't know if you're getting cut or not. They come in and they try to tell you that, make you feel like you're getting cut. And there's a picture of me and Carrie, like arm in arm, like
just waiting to find out.
Yeah, like, you know, diva Carrie, because she's so gorgeous now with her hair. And her,
I know.
And she was just like good old Oklahoma country girl, and we're just like this.
That crimp. I just remember her like crimped hair.
Yeah,
super crimped.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
that's crazy. Like I felt like that was so many moons ago in my life, but
you felt like that changed a lot of things for you.
Without a doubt. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for my time on that show. And then when I came off of the show, I had a wonderful mentor, and he told me, he's like, Celena, you are going to say yes to everything, because you don't ever want to have blinders on. Another piece of advice I tell young kids when I mentor them in the industry, say yes. Do not just have blinders on, because if I would have been like, all I want to do is be a singer, all I want to do is win Grammy Awards, I would have never been, I would have never experienced this world of in front of the camera and acting and hosting and doing all these things.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Well, and as companies are all kind of like downsizing, and the TV industry is in flux, like they're looking for people like you that can do it all. So I've always told people the same thing, even when it comes to like, if you want to work in TV, learning how to edit and learning how to write and learning how to do all the behind the scenes stuff. You can't just say, I want to be front and center and talk, and that's going to be my thing.
Right.
So you get the taste of like stardom with that.
Yeah.
And then you come back here.
Yeah.
So I know a lot happened between then and like meeting Mark and starting your family.
Yeah. Well, it was all Ralph Strand. Just got it.
Okay. Good old Ralphie.
I get a phone call. I got back home, and I'm starting, and I signed my third record deal. After Idol, I came home, and then I signed a third independent record deal. And that was really great. When there's I have an album out and stuff that I recorded right after that. But I was in my apartment, and I get a phone call, and it's a dude named Ralph Strangis. He goes, "Hi, I'm Ralph Strangis. I'm your new best friend." And I go, who are you?
Okay.
Because y'all, I'm a Texas girl. I did not know anything about hockey. All right. I'm like, all I knew was that there was like a Star Center, like, you know, the North Texas Ice Arena. And I knew that they skated there in Valley Ranch.
Yeah. I used to be the same way.
Yeah. I didn't know. Right.
I grew up in Austin. Like, I mean, we had the Austin Ice Bats, and then they died. I mean, they didn't all die, but the team died.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, as luck would have it, you know, the team, you know, hockey was on a work stoppage in 04-05. And that was the year that I was on American Idol. And so when they were coming, they knew that they were going to have a season coming back. They wanted to do something different. They wanted to give the fans something new, which is a set anthem singer. They wanted to kind of model it after the Detroit Red Wings. And
start a tradition.
Yeah.
We needed more tradition with the organization.
We thank Ralphie all the time, because it's like, he's the
one
that
was kind of his idea.
He was like, he told the stars, like, there's this girl that she's from Dallas. She was on American Idol. I think we should call her.
Yeah. And it stuck. How many years has it been now? This
is my 15th season.
We're counting this season.
Yeah, we're counting this season. We're finishing this season.
Yes.
Yeah. So 15 seasons.
15 seasons. Okay. So somewhere along the way, you were introduced to Vito. I call him Vito, Mark Vittorio, your husband.
Well, no, I think how it goes is, you know, he would probably say different, but I think this is how it went. He said that, you know, he's the director, right? So he's got the camera on. So when I went out to sing the national anthem the first time, I think he was like, "Oh, who's the new anthem singer?" It's kind of cute.
Okay, so Ralph got you the job. I thought you were saying Ralph even introduced you for some reason. That's why I said that. Okay,
no.
So Vito made the move himself. Yes. He got the camera on you. And
he was like, "Oh, okay." And so then we were kind of introduced, like, through mutual people. And then I was turning 30, and then it was a game night. We had a game, and so a bunch of people were taking me out for my birthday. They asked him, they're like, "Hey, a bunch of us are going out." He was like, "Oh, who's going?" He was like, "Well, it's Celena's birthday, and we're taking her out for her birthday." He's like, "I'll go." And so
I'm in.
So we went and we played pool, and
he
tried to play hard to get, but
That's so funny. My story with Kelly is very similar. I was like, I don't know, 28 or something like that, worked with the team, and we went out for my birthday lunch with the team when I worked for the Dallas Stars. I took that 1 year where I worked and I did like the marketing stuff and I wasn't working at Fox.
I don't think I even knew how you guys actually met.
Yeah, he came to like my work birthday party thing. So it's like, it's just funny how similar it is. And you're kind of, I mean, they are the ones, right? They're the ones. But when you're getting close to 30, you're kind of like, what do I got here? Like, let's make a move. Let's get this thing going. Yeah. And it all worked out.
Yeah. I told him, like, after a year, if you don't know that you want to marry me, like, you need to go. Like, because I ain't got time to waste. Like, I got babies to have, and I like, you know, I got things I need to do.
Exactly. And you were not kidding, because you guys.
It happened quick.
Went on to get married, and then like we started with your babies. And that's kind of where I want to talk about how we manage this as women with high career goal aspirations, whether that's being a performer, whether that's being on TV, whether that's, you know, you want to be the CEO of a company. It can be anything. And one of the hardest things that we have to deal with is figuring out a family and a family life and being a wife and making it all work while trying not to give up on your goals. So I wanted to talk to you about that, because I know we both, you know, you want to get married, you want to have kids, but then all of a sudden, bam, 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 your kids are here. What about me? Like, what about what I want to do? So how did that kind of unfold for you? And because you're on American Idol, you have this amazing voice, you had record deals. I mean, how do you navigate through all of that?
Okay, so I think what helped me was the fact that I was pregnant all during hockey seasons. And it was just kind of, I kept doing what I was doing while I was pregnant. Oh, you know what? I've had to do some soul searching. And I'm not going to say, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was great and it was fine and it was wonderful. I really wish that I could. But
this is the safe zone.
Yeah, no. It was really hard to, and I think that to the I don't want to say to the detriment of my children, but I think at the beginning, I think we as parents and as moms, I think we're always going to have regrets, right? Like, man, I really wish I would have put more emphasis on that, or I wish I would have been more involved in that. And I think at the beginning, I think that I was so caught up in Celena Rae,
right?
You know, and making sure that I had, and this is real talk, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
everybody struggles with this situation,
and so I really just like dove into my career, and we had, babysitters watching the kids at night, and I mean, look, we had to work. I mean, I love working. I have mad respect for moms who can strictly stay at home moms, and that is their heart. No, that is their soul. Y'all, that is not me. Yeah. Like, I would be an awful mom if I had no identity outside of just being mom. Mm-hmm. And I have wonderful friends that is what they do. And I'm like, wow. Like, hats off to you.
And they make it like a career. I mean, they kill it.
They are amazing.
As mothers, because they dedicate their time to it.
I was just, So, Mike Leary, Nicole.
Yes.
She's like the most amazing super mom I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, I aspire to be this woman. Like, I don't know how she does it, but she's so freaking amazing. But it just wasn't me. And so I focused so much on Celena Rae and trying to build this career. Mm-hmm. And I was really lucky that I always had the Dallas Stars, and I always had that outlet, that creative outlet. As I got older and I had more kids, and kind of came into, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to kind of process what is really important, and it's not so much about becoming this person who I thought I wanted to be professionally. Mm-hmm. It's about being the most amazing mom that I can possibly be, the most amazing wife that I can possibly be, and have this too. And we do have it in our, we can make it all work. You can have it all. We always say this. Mark and I have sat, or Vito, whoever, we call him Vito. You just call him Vito. It's his nickname, Vito. We've had this conversation so many times. I don't know if you guys have had the same conversation, but it's, you can have it all. Yeah. But you can't have it all up here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you got to balance things out. Where are your priorities? And I had to come to the, at the end of the day, my priority has to be mom. Mm-hmm. It has to be that.
You have little humans depending on
right.
you. There's no choice. Yeah.
And I think, and I'm going to be completely honest here, I think that scale was tipped in the wrong direction at the beginning of my career.
And a lot of people could say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's hard too, because you get married and the husband is, they usually become the breadwinner for whatever reason that is. And they have to keep on that like accelerated path for their career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually that's the way it works. It's not usually the mom that is like, you know what? My career is number one. You figure all this stuff out at home because I'm going to get to where I want to go. And it just doesn't work that way unless you have that situation. And some people do, but we both married people that are very career driven, very, and their jobs take up so much of their bandwidth, in their brain power and their life. And someone has to be home to manage everything and to keep those little sweet kids alive,
keep them fed and watered,
being like loved and all of that is a plus. Let's keep them alive, and then let's work on like the activities and all of that. And it just falls on the moms, and it's hard because you have to sometimes make that decision and say, what about me and what about this? But I always say it's about finding the right balance.
It is a right balance. And I have to say that the minute that I figured all that out in my head, in my adult head, finally, at the minute I figured that out and I started putting those thoughts into play, my professional life became so much more rewarding and so much better than it ever was when the scale was tipped the opposite direction. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
It's the weirdest thing.
Well, because it seems like when you can find your inner like peace or happiness with your children and your family, and then you get to go do this as well on top of that, and you get these opportunities to go sing at night in front of a packed arena, like full of people that love you, and go interact with the fans and the Stars players, and still go out and do these auditions. Like, it almost seems like a bonus. Would you agree? Like, so you kind of enjoy that you time more. Right.
It is true. And I have to say that having a person who is so incredibly supportive, and same with Kelly, it makes it so much easier. Like, I can do what I need to do because I know he's going to be so supportive of whatever it is I need to do. Our number one goal is to make sure that the kids are okay. And so that's what we do. Yeah. And it works.
Yeah. With Kelly and I, like with both of our jobs, I always have said, and I had a career shift like a couple of years ago, which I feel like works better for us, like balance wise. And I'm still getting to have fun at the ticket, and I'm still getting to do sports, but I'm not doing TV anymore. I'm not trying. And same with singing. And it's like, if you really want to accelerate that, you're probably gonna have to move. You're probably gonna have to like jump markets
and that's
go where live in LA, right? For you. And it was like, I can't do that.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because at the very beginning of my career, my second career after Idol, I had an option here. I had some opportunities to pursue, and this was, Mark and I were together. This was the very beginning of our relationship, and it was like my first season with the Dallas Stars, and I had a very good opportunity to go to New York to do Broadway.
Oh my God.
And it's a dream of mine to always do that. And we had this was before kids, and we had a real conversation, and it's to do that, to pursue a music career, to pursue recording and touring and all those things, it's almost impossible to have this strong home family unit. And he would say, he's like, if you're saying that is what is so important to you, having a music career at that level is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Again, you can have it, but you have to kind of figure out like where. Right, I know. What do you mean I can't have everything I want? Right.
I can bring my kids around with me. They can be little Broadway kids.
But it's not ideal.
No. They need stability, getting into a school, staying in one place.
But my question to you is, do you feel that, I don't know, because for me, and I'm going to ask you this question too, having that change in your career from being on camera to kind of behind the camera a little bit and on radio, it's the same, but it's different, right? Where for me, I was always on stage performing, right? And singing and performing. That's what I love to do. And that's what I always thought. And I kind of transitioned into something else that I never thought I would do. And I'm sure maybe you never thought in a million years you would ever do radio, right? I found, and I say this to everybody, I love what I do so much more than I ever loved singing on a stage.
Really?
Can you say, like, I can say that and I've said this to so many people. I love being on set. I love acting. I love hosting. I love being at the arena and entertaining and being silly and doing what I do.
Yeah.
More than I ever loved singing on a stage.
It's crazy too, because you just have to open your mind up.
And that's what it is. You got to just
say, you know what? Like I had this life envisioned for myself and this is what I wanted to do, but I can't do that if I also want these kids and if I also want this family lifestyle.
Right.
I feel like, yes, I would say I'm so happy doing radio now. It's so fun. You just get to be yourself. You just get to talk and like shoot the breeze, and everybody there is so nice. I feel like I have like some genuine friends.
Right.
Because when I worked at Fox for so long, and like after leaving there and, you know, the turnover and whatever, you're like sitting at home all alone. You're like, I don't have those coworkers, like those friends that I was seeing every day. And it was really hard. And we just had to figure out, okay, what can I do that's still in Dallas if Kelly's still going to have this job, which we hope that he does for a long time.
For a long, long time.
Yeah, yes. For a long, long time.
Yeah.
But
it's a crazy world. I mean, I sit back and my mom even asked me, like, I'm going to be 45 this year. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
Isn't it insane? I can't believe it.
You look like you're 30.
I am an icon. I'm old. No. But I know my mom is asking me, because she's like, man, do you just sit back and go, wow? And I do sometimes. I sit back and I look at my life, because it just has always moved so fast since I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And all these TV shows, and now here, I'm like, whoa. Like, how did I get here? I don't even know how this happened. Like,
you've gotten to do so many different wonderful things.
And I say that people, you know, and I think a lot of young people, I have my daughter, my oldest daughter is 12 now. And so you've got all these friends, and it's all about TikTok, and it's all about the Instagram influencers, and everybody wants to be famous. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't. And I'm like, you know.
Because now they can like get famous so easily.
I'm like, no.
Like, imagine if you had TikTok when you were sitting there like singing to your friends.
I would have killed the
trying
TikTok.
to just get it out there into the world. I would have killed.
I would have been.
Do you TikTok
so good.
now?
I do with my daughter. It's so much fun. I know the savage. I'm a savage.
Yeah.
Classy, bougie, ratchet.
You know all the dances?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a mommy-daughter TikTok account.
Okay. I've got to go find you.
So fun.
Yeah.
Y'all, if you are a mom, get on TikTok with your kids. I do this because I like to monitor it. So you got to.
Right.
Children, being a mom, I feel, my aunt told me this, it's the game of Survivor. You have to outwit, outlast, outplay. Outwit, outlast, outplay. This is what I do with my kids, right? I'm on TikTok. I do like to dance and have fun. I like to bond with my daughter, you know, because it's fun. It's cool. I like to, you know, I like to be down with kids. But I also do it because I kind of
Can we use that for the promo? I like to be down with kids.
I'm down with the kids.
Yeah, that's your new line.
But no, but I do it so I can monitor what's going on, and, you know, making sure she's not, you know,
because that's where everybody is now.
You know,
I wonder how long before it's like uncool for her to TikTok with you.
Never.
Well, because you're cool.
I'm a cool mom.
Okay, outlet. I like
outwit,
that. Outwit.
Outlast.
Outplay. And that's why I am like swimming up the creek right now, because my 5-year-old outwits, outlasts, and outplays me. Oh, Celena. Girl. His wit. Can I tell you what he does to me lately?
Yes, please.
Anytime that I ask him to do something, and the answer is no. Or if he's really, like, say he's begging for some candy, right?
Okay.
Mom, I really need a treat. Like, this is like in the first thing in the morning. He's like, Mom, can I have some candy? I'm like, no, Ryder, it's breakfast time. You don't get candy. Mom, I have a really pretty dress that I'm thinking about getting for you. I'm not going to give you the pretty dress if you don't let me. I'm like, you are 5. He has this dress.
Ooh,
he always goes back
smart.
to the dress. He's like, I don't know why he thinks that's what I really want in this world is a beautiful dress.
These nice, pretty dresses. He's got you pegged.
He's
he knows.
Trying to bribe me. I know. It's crazy. He's too like smart for his own good. But all of those things right now outplay, because he's got so much energy, and I come home and I'm just like tired, and he's like, let's do this, let's do that. And it's always a lot easier if you actually like play with them. It's when I'm trying to get something done that it's really hard, because they bug you. Do you see?
No. Okay. So I don't know. I just have really independent children.
Yeah.
Or when we had kids, I always thought it was very, very important to allow them to play on their own and allow them to be very creative. So I think a lot of parents, when you have your first child, you want to be right up in there. Oh, this is how you build the block. Sit down, let's play. Because you're so excited. You want to be right in there.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. And maybe it's a product because I was so busy and, where I said I maybe to the detriment of my kids. Maybe that's why they're so independent because
they had
around.
to be? No.
Because I wasn't around. No,
that's a good quality.
But I always had of a mom, always had this thought process that independent play was really, really important.
Yeah.
So that they could learn to use their imagination, how they wanted to build blocks, how they wanted to play with dolls, how they wanted to play with cars, not the way I wanted them to play blocks. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they can learn a lot by that.
I always let them be. And even as infants playing like in a pack and play.
Yeah.
Let them have a minute. They don't need me right up on them.
I love when he has his minutes. It's just when he won't go when he's like tapping me, like, let's do this, or I need you to do that, or I need but once he does get going, like he'll sit here and create these scenes, and he builds this city out of all of his like little guys, and his sister's starting to do that too at age 2. I agree. That is really important.
But it always, with my kids, it's always like when I'm on the phone, all of a sudden they just can't stop talking and they want you at that moment.
When they know that you are not accessible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that happened to me.
I give them the Heisman. I'm just
call.
like this.
You're like, I can't. What were they like when they were little? Were they hard or were they easy?
I have such great kids.
Yeah.
I really do. I think I really lucked out in the kid department. They were so good.
Yeah.
Like
I do think girls are easier than boys.
They are. You know what? I always wanted boys.
No, be glad.
I wanted boys because I'm not overly girly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do with girls. Like I was a tomboy growing up. I mean, I like to dress up and be pretty, but I'm a t-shirt right now. It's fabulous.
I love that
hockey shirt. I know. Yes. So I don't know. So, but then I had these girls, but I'm so glad because I have so many friends that have little boys. And I've always heard that boys are harder at the beginning, but they're easier when they get older.
Yeah.
And girls are so easy. My kids were so chill. My sister-in-law.
That's probably why you have 3. See, I would never have a 3rd right now because
God knew.
Yes.
God knew that if I had a son, I would only have 1.
I could see where you're like, let's go for it. Let's have 3. Why not 4? Kids are easy. These things are great. But now I'm like, no way.
But y'all, these girls are driving me crazy as we get into these preteen years. Oh, I'm seeing what's coming, and it is not pretty.
Oh,
it is
just like
sass is strong.
With talking back, and
Yo, I've pulled so much hair out of my 12-year-old's head. No, I'm not mean like that, but I pull her hair. It's my way of like.
You literally pull her hair?
Oh yeah, that's the way you do it. I learned that from my sister-in-law in Chicago.
Wait, what do you do?
You pull her hair. When she gets sassy with me, I pull that hair.
Really?
She's like, oh, Mom.
That's amazing.
It's great. It's fantastic. Pull hair. It's fantastic.
Okay, and then she stops.
She does.
Because
She's
she
like,
has
Mom,
to.
Stop. That hurts. Ow. And I'm like, oh, stop.
Don't do it again. I'll pull harder.
Don't do it. Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, but the sass is strong. But anyway, the girls, that they're so easy at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of moms who have daughters will say that they are so easy, but then it just gets, and then the boys just get so chill and they're just like, whatever,
Right. Yeah. The boys are just
wait.
Teenagers. They just want to go play sports.
Girl, just
I can't wait. I can't wait. Ryder, he is. Like, he's so sweet. When he's sweet, he's like an angel. When he's not, he's just.
You're gonna be so thankful for Ryder when your daughter starts going through this preteen, and then you're gonna have Ryder, because boys always love their mommy.
It's already starting.
Always.
Like when she acts out, he kind of looks at me and he's like, I love you, Mom. He's like, when he sees that she's, yep. And he's like, okay, I can be the favorite now because she's acting out. But
girl, hold on to that. I can't even tell you. Oh my Lord.
I
My
know.
12-year-old, the problem is that my 12-year-old and I, we are identical in every way. Like, we look alike, we act alike. She is me to a T. And I think that's why we fight.
Yeah.
And we butt heads a lot. But she's like my buddy. Like, we're always together. Like, she was out shopping with me today, and she's always holds my hand. And we're talking like hold hands like this.
Oh.
In the car, walking.
So it's just those little things.
She's just sassy. She's 12.
Yeah. Well, I bet you were kind of sassy when you
I
were
was not.
12.
I was perfect.
Did you get your hair pulled?
I did. I think I got my butt spanked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I grew up back in that generation.
I know. Do we need to bring back the spankings
I
more?
know. Oh, but
Probably
Sophia
not.
only got spanked once, and it's because she bit her cousin and drew blood.
Oh, really?
You have to punish.
So she probably never did it again.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Two things that I want to talk about with you before we go. One is, so you're like really big on being healthy and keeping your kids healthy. How do you do that with kids? Because
That's so gone out the window during COVID.
Okay.
But no, yeah.
Like for your kids, how do you get around the whole sugar thing?
Okay. Everybody calls me a chemiphobe. I know it's a big joke on social.
But that's good.
It is. It's turned into a joke on social media now with all my friends, and everybody knows that I'm a chemiphobe, and I know I'm a slightly nuts. I got it, but
no, that's. I mean, we all need to be that way.
I know.
Probably,
I'm a little
if
bit
we
more
want to live
lax.
long and stay healthy and not get the COVID.
Again, outwit, outlast, outplay, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I outwitted my children when it came to sugar, because
Tell
when
me.
they were young, okay, I used to tell them that like a rice something was a cookie. They're young. They believe anything you tell them, right? So I would give them a wafer.
Like a rice cake.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, here's a cookie.
Yeah.
Okay. So they thought it was fantastic and wonderful when they were young. And it was when they got older, like, Mom, that's not a cookie.
Right.
You know?
Because then they inevitably find out what a real cookie is.
Or I was the mom at birthday parties because, you know, the cupcakes come with like this huge amount of icing. And I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. I'm like, do you know how many chemicals are in that thing? Like, it's like just chock full of artificial flavor, which I'm very against artificial flavor. So I was the mom, like I would literally, I mean, what 2-3-year-old needs that much sugar? Really?
None of
They're just
them.
happy with the cake. They don't care. So I would take off the icing and I would leave like maybe like a little sliver of the icing on the top and hand it to my kids. And all the other mothers are looking at me like, oh, you're so mean. And I'm like, no, I mean, they don't need it. They don't need it. But to this day, I will tell you, my kids will not finish a piece of cake.
Really?
They do not. Because they weren't filled with sugar early.
Yeah.
They don't care. To this day, my 12-year-old still takes icing off of cupcakes.
Really?
And
Well,
just
that's
leaves
good.
a thin layer.
Yeah.
So
It is excessive.
You know, I won because I taught them that they, you know, they don't need all of that. And so, or I would give them like a little tiny bowl and I would put like 5 M&Ms if they wanted candy. I would put like 5 M&Ms in a little bowl. They were so happy just to get 5 M&Ms.
Yeah. I tried to do that same thing. Would they ever eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
God, no, I get the organic brands. It's so funny that you mentioned that because my kids were like, Mom, can we just have real Cinnamon Toast Crunch? And I'm like, you don't know. Cascadia Farms makes a really good one.
Yeah.
You know, that's not full of all the crap.
My sister-in-law keeps sending it to my son. Like,
It's so good.
oh,
If
it's
you
so
eat
good.
it.
He never knew what it was. And now that he does, it's like every morning, it's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then I say no. And he's like, well, you don't get your beautiful dress. He's crazy.
So my girlfriend and I, I always say there are alternatives for every kind of like fun food that the kids want. There's alternatives. Mm-hmm. And I just find the alternatives.
Until they discover the real ones, though.
I know, but now my daughter is in, she's in middle school now. So I've had to let that go. There's some Doritos in our house.
Of course.
All right,
you can't monitor it.
Yeah.
Every second.
I gotta
of their
let them be
lives.
kids.
Yes. The other thing I want to talk to you about, you just posted this picture on Facebook and I didn't even write anything on it because I was overwhelmed with emotion.
Oh, what? What did I do?
Your chips and queso. Okay, so we're gonna have to get
Okay.
this so we can post it up here. So I am like, there's nothing I love in this world more than chips and queso.
Okay, yeah.
And explain this picture because I'm judging you.
Okay, so I take chips. So silly. Thank goodness I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that are backing me up on this. They're like, you know, I do this too.
No.
Okay, so you're at a Mexican restaurant. I take my chips and I get a. They give you a plate for a reason.
Yeah.
So I take my chips and I break them up into little bite-sized pieces, and then I put a dab of queso, and then a dab of the hot sauce. And if there's guacamole, I'll put a dab of the guacamole on there.
How long does it, I mean, you like sit down and you, for 20 minutes, you're arranging your chips and
I just make a little plate and then they're like little bite size. Because how many times have you dipped a chip? Be honest, you grab a chip, right? Mm-hmm. And you dip it in the queso and the hot sauce, right? And then you go to bite it and then it falls.
oh
like
my
you
God,
take a bite,
every
right?
time.
I hate that.
Is that why you do this?
Yeah, I make it easy.
Okay, because it was always falling on your shirt. I can respect that because I always get queso on my shirt.
And then it just makes it nice, neat, and orderly, and it just perfect bite-sized little pieces. I'm not the only one that's crazy. I know this. Do you not do that?
No, they it just looks
You
like
just
a
go to
bunch of
town.
tiny little like pizzas or something. I get so excited. I mean, and that would probably help you limit your intake as well, maybe. Because I
probably.
sit there and I'm
I
like, I
just
just
devour.
keep going. Yeah.
Unless I'm at Uncle Julio's.
Uh-huh.
Uncle Julio's has some great chips.
Oh yeah. There's our
And they're
good.
chips and salsa, so I just down those. But we literally sat down when I took that picture. We sat down and the guy, I said, "Can I have a plate, please?" And Sophia goes, "Are you going to do the thing with your chips again?" Like she knows. I'm like, yeah.
That like totally threw me off. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, I'm not the only one.
Okay.
And you should try it.
Maybe I will.
And this is really weird, but so at Mi Cocina,
Yeah.
you know how they don't do it anymore. It's probably because of COVID, but they would always put like the chip in the cheese. That was my favorite chip because I like it when it gets all soggy
Yeah.
and you eat it.
I
And
can
it's
relate to that.
soggy nachos.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
No, I like that. That
I
chip,
like
but
soggy
that chip
nachos.
I feel like is always a little bit different than all the other chips. Something about it.
Yeah. So
it's thicker. It's like more. It's like.
And I
don't
have
know,
been known
more
to take-
heavier corn.
I have been known to take
The
other
middle
chips
chip.
and put chips in the queso so that it can get soggy. So
And
that
then
I
just
can-
like stick it in there and then wait a while and then go back. Well, I respect that
I'm
more
not-
than the little
I'm not
chip
right in the head.
pizzas. I love you. Love everything about you. I am so glad that you joined us on this show. I feel like we've
Yes.
probably talked for an hour.
Let's talk more.
I know.
No.
Well, you'll have to come back.
Yes.
You'll have to come back and join us on the Mom Game.
Oh my gosh.
So much to talk about every day.
I know.
And
I
that's
know.
what this is all about.
I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I love the show. I love you and Emily dearly. It's just so fun. And you know what? It's cool that sometimes I feel like I'm alone in this world, in this crazy world, but I love you guys eat, sleep, and breathe the same things that I do.
Yes.
Um,
And so many women do, whether it's
Yeah.
sports or something else. You know, it's just trying to manage it all.
yeah. And you know what? You can do it all.
Yeah.
You can't have
You're
it all.
proof. You're
right.
proof. We're trying. We sure are trying our hardest, Celena.
Right.
Lastly, Stars Games. What are you going to watch? Is it going to be weird?
I know. Oh, my heart.
Are you going to sing in your house?
Oh, there is a surprise.
surprise?
So, well, I kind of posted it on. It's not a surprise, but the NHL called and they are having so much fun with it that they wanted all the national anthem singers across the league to record their national anthem from home.
way.
So when the guys are the home team, they're
I just
going
got
to
chills.
play my anthem from my living room.
Oh my gosh.
So that the guys have a sense of normalcy and something
Yeah.
that's familiar to them.
I love that because I was wondering how it was going to work if there was just like one lucky Edmontonian
no. So I think
that got to sing the anthem every night.
Every team they gave the anthem singers, because a lot more teams have set anthem singers. They gave them the opportunity to sing their national anthem from home, kind of like social distance anthem, which I think is so fun. It's such a
Yeah.
play on what's going on, and it's like it's
Oh,
real.
Well, and the guys will tell you like they need your anthem. That's what gets them going.
I
It's your
hope so.
voice and
I don't know about that.
all of
but
the Stars
yeah.
fans. No, that just gave me
And I
chills.
think-
That makes me feel really
Yeah,
excited.
it's really cool. I was so happy that they thought through that, thought ahead. They had so much other things to plan out,
Yeah.
to make this happen. So I was really excited. And I think Jeff Kay, he recorded some stuff. So they'll have Jeff
Oh,
Kay's
good. Oh
voice
my
there
gosh, that's
in
great.
the bubble. Yeah.
I had no idea. And the pictures coming out from the bubble look really good.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it's the
It's
next
not the
best
same.
thing. It's not the same. I'm glad they're covering up the seats.
I thought that too.
don't
I'm
want
like,
empty
wow, this
seats.
is going to look weird. Because, from a television, when you see
Yeah.
empty seats,
It just
it's
looks
not.
like you're like you forget what's going on in the world. You're like, well, if no one can be at this game, why am I even watching this game? If no one's even there, why am I spending my time like freaking out about this game when there's no fans?
It kind of made it look like some kind of exhibition kind of fun thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's
They
going
put
to
on a show.
I think, I hope that they go really far into the playoffs.
Fingers
Get
crossed.
the Stanley Cup.
But
That
I
your
do
husband
miss-
gets to work a lot. That my husband gets to work a lot, and then we'll just.
But I miss our fans. I miss
Yeah.
seeing people, and I miss being there, and I miss our fans, and I miss the game, and I
Yeah.
miss the smell of the ice.
Oh, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like a game night for
Yeah.
Stars games and every game.
I mean, I've
every
been really.
sport.
I've
It's tough
been.
right now.
It's been nice having our husbands home and
Yeah.
kind of having a downtime. We put a pause on life, which was great. It was really great. But now here we are. I'm like, I miss working. I
Yep.
miss that.
It's good.
life.
It's like I said, we're never going to get a break like that ever again where
Uh-uh.
everybody's just home. There's no school. There's no work. Everyone can be together. but it was long enough.
Yeah, now we can start moving.
Exactly.
I'm done. My kids are sick of me. They're like, can you go to work, please?
Don't
Can
you
you
have
go?
something to do, Mom? Yes. No. Well, it's been so awesome having you here.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to hear your anthem at the First Stars home game.
Yeah,
whenever that
from
means
my-
home game.
Yeah, from my living room.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being our very first guest. Come back and see us soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So fun. So
yes.
fun.
Thank you, Celena. Thank you all for sticking with us this entire time. We will see you next week on next week's edition of The Mom Game. Peace out.